Hello, and welcome to Filmsquatch, the podcast where two guys from the Deep South watch and review movies about Bigfoot. It's that simple. Each episode takes a look at a single film about a Sasquatch or a Yeti, and the guys break it down for you. Patrick and Kendall are true believers, but they're too old, too fat, and too lazy to get up off their sofas and go hunt for a Sasquatch themselves. So they just sit back and watch movies about them. Now, let's head over to the Filmsquatch screening room, where Patrick and Kendall are ready to discuss their latest film.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Filmsquatch. With you, as always, is your host, Kendall Fontenot, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy, Patrick Bennett. How you doing tonight, Patrick?
Good, Kendall. What we got tonight? We're going to talk about.
We've got a real treat for all of our listeners and viewers tonight. We have Joseph Granda, who wrote, directed, and stars in The Sasqualogist, which will be coming out very soon. Let's take a look at the trailer, and then we'll jump into our interview with Joseph.
What? You know, if it's just a warm body you want, maybe you should screw that monkey of yours.
It's not a monkey, it's an ape.
Notice how the arms swing, providing him with additional momentum as he traverses the forest floor with exceptional speed.
When squatching, your ears are more important than your eyes.
What? Has Bigfoot ever killed anyone?
Unfortunately, no. Well, imagine the data that would bring.
What? You're a moron. Which way?
This way.
All right, Joseph, can you give us a brief introduction? Just let everybody know who you are, what you do for a living, and how you got into making a Bigfoot film.
Okay, yeah. My name's Joseph Granda, and I've been in the movie business for more than 30 years. I started out as an actor in New York City. I studied out there. I went to kind of a prestigious acting school, I guess, and then I started acting in theater. Ended up on Broadway, and in the early '90s, I got a break in a film called Amongst Friends, and that went on to be a success. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and I worked pretty consistently as an actor in TV and film through the '90s, and then I started writing screenplays and got that going. I directed commercials, and then I just got to the point where I couldn't live in LA anymore. It's a really weird place. It's the only place in the world where someone can break your heart, and then you have to drive past a billboard with their face on it for the next 3 months. So I moved to Colorado, and I was still working as a writer. And, quite frankly, the good Lord just moved me back into making movies again with a little bit more discernment. I didn't want to do slasher movies or murder movies. That's fine if that's what people want to do. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And then I became a father editor too. So I don't know about you guys, but that changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so I wrote and directed another film. It's a nice little family Christian film called The Healing Garden. And then that led me to take a role with Merkel Media out of Tennessee. And I produced 3 documentary style films. There's a UFO one, there's a Sasquatch and the Missing Man one, and another one that they're still editing. But in that process, I met a guy who was looking to do a film on a smaller scale, and I told him I had a story about Sasquatch, but working with Merkle Media, I got to know a lot of people in the Bigfoot community, a lot of really great people, and as I was researching this role and this idea, I went out squatching a few times with some real serious squatches, and I got to know them really well. And a lot of them talked really personal with me about their stories, and we had a lot in contact, in connection in that way. This one guy was telling me all about his life story and his searching for Bigfoot, and I just asked him, I said, do you ever think that really you're just maybe out here looking for your old man? And he kind of thought, well, shit, no one's ever asked me that before. And that was sort of the genesis for me. I mean, you guys saw the movie, so it's really about an older guy who's been looking for this one specific Sasquatch kind of his whole life, and he reluctantly takes a younger kid along with him on this journey. And what they really find is that ultimately what they're looking for is the fathers they didn't have growing up. I know that sounds really serious, but it's a really fun, lighthearted movie. It's got some depth to it, and I can say that I wasn't a squatcher then, but I am now, and I did a lot of research. If you don't know anything about Bigfoot, you'll leave this movie knowing everything you ever wanted to know about Bigfoot, and in a scientific and a factual and a woo-woo way. And if you know everything about the subject, you'll still learn something and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I picked up on is you drop a lot of information as far as Sasquatch research goes. And it's all actual information, real stuff. It's not fictionalized stuff. You were dropping names and all kinds of things, and I really appreciated that. I mean, I'm an armchair researcher. I don't go hunting Bigfoot or anything like that, but I love the subject, and hearing names and seeing things, it was I really appreciated that part of the film. That was real nice. I like that.
Yeah, I didn't, after meeting so many people in the Bigfoot community, I didn't want to make fun of them. I mean, I know people that make fun of them, and I always say, listen, there's worse things that grown men or women could be doing than hiking around the woods looking for, a spirit creature or a bipedal ape.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world, there's worse things that people could be doing. But yeah, I just wanted to be factual to my research and in playing the character, to the spirit of the community, and it's gone very well in that sense.
Let's talk about the cinematography. I mean, everything, it looked very sharp, just fantastic looking footage. It's a great looking film. The shots were all framed beautifully, had great color to it. Just some of the shots were just amazing. So was this cinematography you hired, or was it a friend, or how did you get this person?
Yeah, so no, we had it's the couple things of my goal is, I appeared in a few movies in the 90s. So my goal was to create a movie that had the look and feel of some of those 1990s independent films. And that's one of the things I think we really captured. My cinematographer was a guy named Ward Heine. He's out of Ohio, and I'd worked with him before on some documentaries. And then another guy who was very helpful is Joe Stauffer. He was sort of ran the second camera. So we shot with two cameras. We shot with two Sony A7S. They're great. They're great cameras. They're easy to move around. They're lightweight. You can put them all kinds of different rigs. I think one of the things that we really had going for us was, I wrote it towards its budget. So I made sure that I shot as outside as much as possible. We were only able to shoot 2 nights worth. So all those things came into play. So I think when you're really able to open up the light of whatever world it is that's around you, it's really beneficial to the cinematography itself. We used some drones. I also I got all the locations for free. There's a big dome that my character that I play, Martin Boots are in it. The big dome that he lives in is mine. I own that and that land out here in Colorado. So that was sort of like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I didn't know if it was like a rental cabin or if it's something you brought out, but it's actually on your land. So that's great. It's kind of like a big igloo looking camp.
Yeah, it's something that they use up in the Arctic, and it's out in a hunting area that I use it for, or just to get away and write, or my family and I go up there and fish or whatnot. Um, yeah, so that was very helpful, and then a lot of the other forestry that you see in it that's really beautiful. I had there's a buddy of mine that I play hockey with, and he had 40 acres of wilderness. And he goes, and I asked him if I could shoot on it, and he said, "You can do whatever you want, just don't burn it down." And I said, "Well, there's no fire in the movie, so I think we'll be good." Um, and then and there's a scene in the burger stand there. I've been going to that burger place for years, and the not the girl who plays my girlfriend, but the girl who answers the window, she owns the place, and it was just as easy as like, "Hey, do you want to have a line in the movie?" And and then of course my crew ate there and whatnot. So it was really just a lot of hustle.
Yeah, it sounds like everything just came together for you with that, with the land and the restaurant and the museum and everything. Sounds like a fun time too.
Yeah, it was a real blessing. And one of the things that's really important is I would never say this to a cinematographer because they're very sensitive in their cameras and stuff. And you don't need a big fancy camera for one thing. But in today's world of visual media, I think the sound is more important than what you're seeing. And the simple reason is everybody watches video all day long. At some point, you're on your phone or you're on your TV, so you watch. So as a culture, we've sort of gotten a little numb to beautiful cinema. I mean, I still did that in this movie, but I think what we hear is more important. There's the sounds of the Sasquatch in the movie, and the clarity of the dialogue. So you get the jokes and things like that is really important in it. The other thing that was a real blessing to the movie is the music in it. So the music in it is from a band, oddly enough, a father and son band, because this movie is all about fathers and sons, along with Bigfoot. And so it's a band called Streaking in Tongues, and they're out of Michigan. And I've been listening to these guys for years. They're just so great. And I thought, man, these guys have some good music that I think would really fit in this movie. And so I called them up and I said, "Listen, this is the movie I'm doing. Here's some footage of it. I don't have a lot of money, but as an artist myself, I insist on paying any artist something." And so I said, "I just want to put your music in my movie." Nobody knows these guys, so it was a break for them too. And he says, "You can use as many songs as you want for $100 a song." I was like, done.
Oh, wow.
And then so there'll be a soundtrack that comes out too. And I just said, "That's all yours. Whatever money you can make from that, go for it." Because music is really important too.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
I always felt like the music's just another character in the film. It's that important.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like the biggest unseen character in a movie.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing a short film.
Let's talk about that poster behind you, the Sasqualogist, with your character there on the front and center. Did you design it yourself?
I actually did design that. That oddly enough, we took a bunch of photos, but that photo there is from a selfie that I took of me while I was testing out costume, and it just worked.
Yeah, it does.
And then you can't. Sasquatch back there, and,
right, with the red eyes glowing in the darkness. Yeah, I mean the poster pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the film. I mean, it says Sasqualogist, but you look like a scholarly person with the pipe and the glasses, and you can tell you're dressed for adventure. You got a backpack on, so you're out there exploring, and you see the forest. You see Bigfoot in the background, so it tells you everything about the movie that you need to know. I thought it was very effective.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been good for us.
Kendall, you got anything to add about it?
No, man. I really like the poster, and like you were saying, Patrick, he looks extremely scholarly.
Yeah.
I mean, you look very intelligent.
The pipe sells it right there.
There's just something about, and the whole look of the character throughout the film. You look confident. You look like you're on target, and you're just staying on the line, and I like that about the character. You're very sure of yourself in the film.
Yeah, good acting job too.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
And my wife is glad I don't have the beard anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I based the character on a mix of Meldrum and Cliff. So I don't know if you've ever met Cliff, and I mean this in a kind way. He's a little odd and a little reserved, yet Meldrum is very sort of outgoing and whatnot. I've actually was able to have dinner with both those guys one night after the film was made because they were at one of the festivals. But so I used real inspiration for the character.
All right, tell us. You were sharing with Kendall and I about some of the film festivals and things like that you've already done with this film. You want to go ahead and tell the audience about that?
Yeah. So all of 2025. I went around to Bigfoot festivals and film festivals, and so the film festivals we were accepted into 6, and we won the winter. We won Best Picture at the Winter Park Film Festival. We won Best Comedy at the South Carolina Film Festival, and then we won Best Picture, the Palmer d'Or they called it, at the Midwest Weird Fest in Wisconsin, which was a lot of fun. And then I went to I showed it at 2, I can't remember that. I showed it Mount Hood Bigfoot Festival, one in Washington, another one in Oregon. There's a bunch of them there. And then I showed one in Montana. And then I showed up here where I live near Estes Park Film Festival, Bigfoot Festival, which is a good one. And we had our actual premiere there last year about this time because that festival happens in about 2 weeks. It happens every April. Okay. And so we had a big premiere there, which let us kind of know that we were onto something, that people were really going to like this movie.
Now, you mentioned the woo factor earlier, and that's definitely present in this film. That was actually one of my favorite aspects of the film. I don't want to give too much away, but with the nests, what happens with the nest, I really enjoyed that. Did you draw that from experiences you've heard of, or? I mean, I know about the nesting project up in the Pacific Northwest. I can't remember exactly where, but you tied the woo into the nesting.
Yeah,
so, had you heard of stuff going on with the woo factor as far as we're talking about the nests? I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away what goes on.
I don't want to give it away because it's kind of a surprise. Actually, if you were to watch this movie with the idea of, and I don't want to give it away either, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in this movie, especially the relation, and we could talk about this off the air because I don't want to ruin it for people.
Right.
Especially about the relationship between the older guy and the younger kid. And a lot of that is based on my own real life story of, my father leaving when I was 10 and that's, I'm 60 years old. So, that doesn't ever, it always stays with you no matter how healthy you can get from it. But as for the woo, I did a lot of research into the nesting project. I read that guy's book. I can't think of his name, but I needed a way to tie into the woo and the aper of the two characters. Yeah. And that's what I came up with. What if, well, that's all I'll say for people who haven't seen it. What if, if those nests are actually something tied to the woo, to the spirit of the animal.
Yeah, I had personally never heard of something like that before, and I thought that was a unique take. So I like that.
Yeah, I made
without saying anything, I liked it.
Yeah, good, cool. Yeah, people who have seen it have come up to me with a lot of questions about what's really going on.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those movies you watch it the first time, but if you think about it and then you watch it again, which I recommend people renting it twice when it comes out, or buying it,
Nice.
there's just more questions that come up as you sort of let yourself into the story.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph, as a filmmaker, what's your favorite part of the filmmaking process? Is it the writing, the directing, the producing? What do you like the most? The editing?
Yeah, honestly, my favorite part of it is being absolutely alone in a room writing.
The writing. Okay.
I got my coffee, I got my music, and just that's probably the most fulfilling part. Not that I, like the character says in the movie, I don't hate people, but I feel better when they're not around. That's sort of his motif. But that, and then I really like working with actors. My foundation in this business is as an actor, and this is my first time, writing, directing, and starring in a movie. And I just figured if Ben Affleck can do it, why not me? No offense to Ben Affleck, but so yeah. But yeah, it's coming out. It's going to be released this month, April 28th. You'll be able to see it exclusively at merkelfilms.com. That's Tony Merkel's company. He's a podcaster, The Confessionals. He was a producer on it, sort of helped some things get along, made some connections. So April 28th, you'll be able to stream it there at merkelfilms.com, or you can just go to the Sasqualogist.com, or even my website if you want to see the other things that I'm doing and have is josephgranda.com, and it'll stream it all. And then once it plays out there for a couple of months, then we'll send it. It'll be Apple, Amazon, all those big corporations. We're just trying to make some money back before those guys all take 30%.
Do you have any merchandise available, like posters, T-shirts, anything like that? People
I sold out all these hats. I don't know if you can see that, but
yep.
That's I sold it. I had some hats and some stickers that I was selling around at the festivals. So
what about
I'd like to
physical media release? When will that come out?
Yeah, we're gonna do that too.
Okay.
That'll probably be when it goes to Prime and all that stuff. I think I'm gonna get together the other 2-star actors in it. One of them, I don't want to say too much about it because it'll give the story away, but he's a very tall, hairy guy in the movie. He's got a big beard. He's a stand-up comedian. His name's Kevin Clayton. So him, myself, and the kid who played opposite me, we're going to do the sort of director's cut. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty funny. Nice. And behind the scenes talking and all that kind of stuff.
When that Blu-ray does come out, let us know, and we do a quarterly digital magazine. We'll put a big full page ad for you in there. Let people know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks. Or if you want, if you need any media like posters and whatnot. I'm curious, what did you guys think of the movie?
All right, kid, go ahead.
I enjoyed it. I without giving too much away, I'm not a big woo person, but I respect it. And I loved how you tied the two together in the film without making fun of either of them. Poking fun at them, you had some fun moments in there, but I just really loved how it was a character-driven story. And you were seeking Bigfoot, but you were seeking something else. And I really I like this film. That's really all I can say. I liked it. Everyone involved did a great job.
Yeah. I thought it was very, very well shot. It was very cinematic. I'll give you that. It was fun. It had some fun, quirky characters. I thought it was very enjoyable to me. I loved it, and I urge everybody when this thing comes out for rent or on streaming, go watch it. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Everybody.
Yeah, great. And the thing too is that I really went out of my way to make it family friendly.
Yeah.
I think the word shit is in there twice, which is nothing. And I even put my daughter in it. She's the girl who rolls her eyes at me, which wasn't really an acting gig for her. So yeah, and it's family friendly, which was important to me.
Did you have a favorite scene in the film that you can talk about?
Yeah, I think my favorite film happens in the first 7 minutes of the movie, where I basically have a Sasquatch experience. I think it was really important to pull that, to make that feel really real, so people could go, "Oh, this is a real movie with real acting in it," that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really important to me, and I think that it's important to sometimes showing less is more when it comes to Bigfoot, because I think we have so many images of Bigfoot. There's a part in the movie where the kid says, "What does he look like?" And I say to him, "He looks like however you would imagine him to be," because we see him over. And here's the other thing too: people want to, when they watch the movie, there is a Bigfoot in every scene of this movie. Maybe it's a hat, maybe it's a shirt, maybe it's a sticker or a belt buckle or all kinds of other things. But there is a Bigfoot in every scene of this movie. I made sure of that.
Excellent. Ken, do you have anything else?
Well, I mean, did you have a favorite scene, Patrick? I have one I'll talk about.
I'll tell you, there was a fun scene I really liked. And Joseph, that's when your character has the broom at the camp. You're out there sweeping the little deck. That was a fun time. I like that.
Yeah, cool. That's me dancing.
My favorite scene was the tour, the expedition you went on, and the encounter with the Sasquatch. Just the interaction between all the people on the expedition with you. That was one of my favorites. That was my favorite scene in the film. I enjoyed that, and I had other favorites, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to
say anything because it'll ruin it.
Yeah. Well, there is a real dummy in the movie too. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
But yeah, Joseph, man.
Go ahead, Ken.
I was gonna say. It's been fun having you on here, Joe, and I do recommend everyone watch this film. If no one else has anything to add, we can go ahead and get to the moment of truth. Here on Filmsquatch, we watch and review Bigfoot movies, and we rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 Bigfoot tracks, with 1 being the worst Bigfoot film ever made and 10 being the best, which would be, in my opinion, The Legend of Boggy Creek. So, Joe, we're going to put you on the hot seat here. How would you rate your film on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I mean, I would say,
and there's no wrong answer. So
along the scale of the One Bite app, I would say an 8.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say 10, but I'm being,
yeah.
I think I think it's fair. Okay, 9. Right. I'm going to say 9. I'm going to go 9.
All right. Patrick, you want to go or you want me to take a shot at it?
Well, he had originally said 8. In my notes, I had 7.5 is when I first watched it. That's what I jotted down.
That's the exact same thing I have, 7.5.
So yeah. I mean, it's 5's an average film. This is definitely above average. Yeah.
Great. I mean, I'm always suspicious of movies that get 10 anyways.
Yeah.
Especially if it's against Boggy Creek. But I tell you what, I hope this movie is going for the next 50, 60 years like Boggy Creek.
Yep. It's definitely a good film. I recommend it for all of our listeners out there. Be sure to check it out when it gets released. And buy it on Amazon or buy it from the Sasqualogist.com. When those physical copies come out, buy those. Be sure to support independent filmmakers.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I really appreciate you having me on. And if anybody wants to get any information on this film, or I'm getting ready to make my next film, you can go to josephgranda.com. And that'll link you to this movie and a couple of the other ones that I've done. So, and I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Joseph. We appreciate you being on here.
Well, folks, I hope you really enjoyed that interview with Joseph. He's an awesome guy. We briefly got to talk with him before we recorded that interview. Real fun fella, and get out there and support him. I give this movie my full backing. I really enjoyed it. Patrick, I'm sure you feel the same way. This was
Yeah,
a really good movie.
a lot of fun.
Leaves you with some questions, and that's the intent. It makes you think. And there aren't very many Bigfoot movies out there that make you think whenever they're done. So want to thank Joseph for being on the show with us. And now we're going to shift gears. And Patrick, why don't you tell us about a little movie about a certain Sasquatch type creature lurking in the Atchafalaya swamp?
Yeah, we got the premiere. Well, we're going to call this the fan premiere, okay, of Tatai Modi. It's the short film that Filmsquatch has been making for the last, I don't know, year or so. But we're not 100% finished. That's why we're calling it a fan premiere. We don't want the fans to have to wait any longer to see what we've been working on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and premiere a fan premiere, let you see what we've got. And then we still probably a couple more months or so until we're completely done. So we still have one major scene that we're trying to get edited just right. And we're waiting on the sound composition, the music composition.
Music.
And then when that's all done, we'll have another premiere of the complete finished film. But right now, we're going to have a fan premiere, and it's exclusive to our Facebook channel for Filmsquatch. So 8 p.m. Central Time, be on our Facebook page for Filmsquatch. It's Facebook/Filmsquatch. That's the channel. And you will see the film as it is so far. And I mean, it's very short, under 20 minutes, I'd say. I don't have the runtime yet. I'm still putting it together for the premiere, but it's under 20 minutes. And look, Kendall and I are thick-skinned. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's great too. Drop us a comment after you watch it during the premiere. Let us know what you thought. I mean, if you say, hey, it sucked, I can't believe I saw that garbage, that's fine, but we want to hear from you. We want to know that you were there and that you were watching, and that would make us feel good, whether you liked it or not. Just the fact that you took your time to watch our film would make us feel great. So give us a comment. You don't have to say anything if you don't want, but we would like to know where you're watching it from. So tell us what city and state you're in. Or if you don't want to tell us the city, just tell us what state you're in, Just say, hey, I'm in Colorado, or I'm, watching from Utah or whatever. We want to know where you're at, but that would mean the world to us. So
yes,
but we hope you tune in, and it's going to be a fun time. Yeah, so we put a lot into this, and there's two actors that you got to tune in for, okay? Yeah. And I'm not talking about Mitch Lang or Sharita Leggett. I mean, yeah, tune in for them, but I'm talking about these two famous actors who gave their time to be in this film. Kendall, you want to tell
some of them gave their flesh and some of them gave their flesh and blood to be in this film. And I'm not bragging, but I'm hearing Oscar talk already.
Yeah, it's got that buzz to it.
Yeah, it's definitely got a buzz to it. But yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm ready for it. May 1st can't get here fast enough, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And like Patrick said, if you loved it, you hated it, or you just kind of middle of the road about it, let us know, and let me know which of the hunters in the beginning of the film is the most believable actor. Who looks the most like George Clooney, maybe Brad Pitt or Matthew McConaughey. Just let me know that, and just have fun. That's the most important thing. Watch it and have fun.
Yeah, we can't wait to show it to you. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a no budget movie. We just want to see what we could do with no money and have fun making a Bigfoot movie, and that's what we did. And I'm really proud that we were able to shoot the whole movie in Louisiana and use all Louisiana cast and crew. That meant a lot to me. Being from Louisiana. Kendall's from Louisiana. So we wanted to make it a Louisiana project. And we love the state of Louisiana, and we love the beautiful scenery, especially the swamp with the majestic cypress trees with the Spanish moss draping from the limbs and that. I just think it's just completely beautiful around this area. And that's what we wanted to showcase in this film.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out the teaser for Tatai Modi right now.
In the swamps of Louisiana, they whisper about something. A creature seen over 200 times. They call it Tatai Modi. Join us for the Facebook premiere of Filmsquatch's new Bigfoot short film, Tatai Modi, directed by Patrick Sean Bennett. Watch it if you dare.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Filmsquatch. If you like the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us. Make sure to like us on Facebook and join in on some of our interactive discussions. Remember, Bigfoot is out there. Watch your back.